it's virtually impossible. You know, what will happen is that the character of these Malaysians will be really revealed as to whether they react in a positive way or whether it has a really negative effect. Only time will tell, and we'll have to wait and see. The interesting thing to me, though, is that you and I were in Qingdao last year for the Citroën Cup, and this top Danish pair played men's doubles, obviously, all the way through the competition, apart from the final. They, as a pair, lost every single one of their matches, if you remember. So for the final, in fact, Matthias Bo, the left-handed player, he was dropped from the final, and Jonas Rasmussen was brought in to play with Matthias Bo. So quite how with Mogensen.
Radical decision by the Mogensen, who won the Super Series finals at the end of 2011. 4 titles for the year. Biggest win, of course, was their win at the All England, but they were unable to defend their title this year. I think this time last year they were world number 1, weren't they? But now down to number 3.
Yes, that's right. In fact, had 32 weeks at world number 1.
Well, the players are out a little sooner than they expected. I think I'm right in saying that Lee Chong-wei is only just about ready to leave the court from where he was sitting before. But our attention for the moment moves away from him, although I'm sure the world number 1 will be the man grabbing the headlines worldwide from this 3rd day of the BWF Thomas Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, to my right, Denmark, represented by Matthias Bo, Carsten Mogensen. My left, Malaysia, represented by Hoon Tien Hao, Tan Boon Young. Denmark to serve, Matthias Bo, Tan Boon Young. Love all. Play.
The umpire is the Belgian, Bert van Horenbeek. And what has been a very strange start to this Thomas Cup clash. Hopefully now can get underway in earnest, because it's been a case of all eyes on Lee Chong-wei until now. First point to the Malaysian pair. Well, you get the feeling that there's a freshness, I suppose, to having not played together much over the last year. And after a good start as well here. You were questioning maybe the fitness of Hoon Tien Hao, so something to watch maybe as the game goes on.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, just to me, doesn't look to be in the best physical shape. Oh, that's very, very good defense from Carsten Mogensen.
Well, it's been an amazing story-by-story build-up for Malaysia, hasn't it? What with these doubles split up, and players being ill in the build-up. Now Lee Chong-wei's injury, and I'm not sure Hafiz Hashim is fully fit to play today. He had a bad fever yesterday. He's playing the final singles because the chief coach, Rashid Siddiq, said it's better to have a half-fit Hafiz than a fully fit Wei Feng playing in that 5th match.
Yeah, I think the reasoning behind that is Hafiz's undoubted experience. Having won the All England title a few years ago, he may not be at the top of his form. And he's still vastly experienced.
Yeah, that's to come. 3-3 at the start of this men's doubles clash.
It's going wide.
Well, some would call it risky, some would call it radical, maybe brave But will it pay off, this gamble, for Malaysia?
Oh, service fault called, struck above the waist.
4-all.
Yeah, and that's the lack of mobility exposed there of Hun Tianhao. Deceptive flick serve, didn't get back quickly enough.
Service over. 5-all.
Oh, service fault called again.
Service over. 6-5.
Cormac Breslin from Ireland, our service judge.
This men's doubles game has become even more important because I don't think too many in the Malaysian camp give Darren Liu too much hope against Jan Jorgensen. So if Denmark were to win this men's doubles, then it could pretty much be a case of game over.
Yes, I think that's perhaps been a little harsh. I think Darren Liu has been playing very well recently, reached the quarter-final of the All England.
Those words are from within the Malaysian camp.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily my opinion, but
yeah, well, I think that, you know, there's an awful lot of kidology that goes on
Sure.
in sport, you know, and psychological games, playing down, you know, prospects, and, you know, we see it on all sports. We've seen it recently in the English Premier League with the Manchester United manager saying, oh, no, we're not favourites to win, Manchester City are, and it puts more pressure on Manchester City. And I think it's a similar sort of thing perhaps here now. There's a bit of kidology.
it's a fair point. It's a fair point. There was Roberto Mancini, the Man City manager, saying the title's over. Once they won the title, he said, actually, I always believed we could do it. Well left. Good call Mogensen got from Bo.
9-6.
And they've started to stamp their influence now on this men's doubles match.
Serves over. 7-9.
Oh, that's so good from Mogensen.
Serves over. 10-7.
Just one other point, Jill, as well, as we edge towards the first interval. For Ku and Tan, as a pair, Olympics coming up, confidence was pretty low as it was. Splitting them up like this surely doesn't help.
Well, I think you're absolutely right.
That's lovely.
Serves over. 8-10.
There's no doubt he's a very, very talented player.
Yeah, lovely touch from Hunt. Well, he must see it as an opportunity, hasn't he, Hun Tianhao?
Serves over. 11-8.
There is the interval then. Denmark in the ascendancy. If you're just joining us, just to let you know, and you're wondering why you're not still seeing Lee Chong-wei, because you would have thought the men's singles would be on now. Lee Chong-wei had to go off with like a pretty nasty injury.
Duellerne, hver gang I puffer dem ned til dem, så spiller de fart op til jer. Det er kun til dem, der prøver at lave noget til siderne. Fordi når vi rykker fremad, så kan vi godt spille den kort, fordi så er det, de står og venter på. Der står de og venter på fart, præcis. Så der er masser af plads på den kort, den positioner ligger godt. Præcis, og vi skal nok få lov til at arbejde ned i offensiven. Vi skal...
Service over, 9-11.
Seen 3 service faults already in this game.
Serves over.
World Badminton has Carsten Morgensen.
He looked pretty confident in the way he did it, but it wasn't by that much, but spot on.
Well, the Danes, after the rally, having a word with their opponents, saying that don't try and make the call for the line judge. I think the Danes are a little upset that the Malaysians had called there, but 75. 171 miles per hour.
Is that the fastest of the week?
Yeah, I think it might be.
Yeah.
11-14. Yeah.
Well, we've just checked that, and in fact, the fastest of the week is 2. Now, here's an interesting thing. Why is it always left-handers that have the fastest smashes? Top of the smash speed for the women, left-hander. Top 2 in the men's game, both left-handers, Fu Haifang and Tan Boon Hyung.
Is there an answer?
Well, I have a theory about it, but it's not based on science. But I think it may have something to do. He's still like sitting at the back of the court. I'm astonished by that. Why he hasn't been taken to the medical treatment centre.
I said we hadn't seen him go off, but I just assumed maybe he'd gone through a back door somewhere. But that is extraordinary, really.
Yeah.
We'd wanted to go. I suppose maybe they just don't want to move him for a little while, but you'd think they'd put him in a wheelchair or something and take him off. Well, anyway. Back to the left-handers.
Yes, now my theory on that, of course, is that shuttles are always made with the feathers going into the cork left over right. So, of course, when a right-hander hits it, you're going against the feathers, but when a left-hander hits it, you're going with the feathers, which may create...
There's some science in that.
Yes, I know, but I'm not a scientist. That's just my little theory.
Sounds a good one to me. I'll go with that.
Oh, May.
How did Tan do that? Wasn't good enough to save the point, though. But it was entertaining.
16-14.
Kukin Kiat's not around. He's the one that normally tries those. Players just taking a little mini breather.
good call by the line judge.
But you know who called it first?
Klaus Poulsen, Danish coach, pleased with that one. They've been telling them in the mid-game interval they had to, on the defensive play it cross-court and follow forward to the net.
Nice lead now for the Danes in this opening game of the first of the men's doubles. Clear from Cormac Breslin of Ireland there. Serve was too high.
I agree with him. I think in general terms, players' serves have been coming higher and higher and higher ever since they changed the rule of the definition of the waist in badminton. Certainly not what you and I would call a waistline. It's just below the lowest rib is the definition in badminton terms.
Excellent, wasn't it, from Mogensen? The power, and then feigning. Just going with the deft touch over the net here. Look at that. No way that Tan could get to it. And it brings up game points. 3 of them here for Mogensen and Bo of Denmark. Well, 21-17 then.
First game won by Denmark, 21-17.
So far the gamble doesn't look like it's paying off. I mean, I'm no medical expert, Jill, but if we look at the players toweling down in this interval, Lee Chong-wei sitting on the side of the court still. Just seems a little bizarre to me.
Me too. I have absolutely no explanation about that whatsoever. And certainly from an athlete's point of view, when it happened to me, the one thing I wanted to do was to get out of the public glare. You know, you want to be taken to the medical room, you can, you know, have a private conversation with, you know, the doctors and the medical staff and so on. And, you know, to be sitting behind the court to me is, well...
Unless, the only thing I say, there may be something positive in terms of maybe it's not as serious as it looked. And maybe they're thinking a bit of ice on it and, you know, there's nothing too much to work with here, you know. Hopefully in 24 hours we'll know a bit more when the swelling goes down, that kind of thing.
Yes, I can that theory, but, you know, maybe it's just a personal thing from my point of view. I was very happy that I was taken out of the public.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I'm surprised that he's
Yeah.
still sitting there personally, you know. It doesn't look pretty comfortable where he is.
No.
Here are the stats from the first game. 275 smash.
And the Malaysians not throwing in a flick serve at all. They really haven't mixed up their serves enough, I don't think.
So they have it all to do. Otherwise, Denmark here could be going 2 up. they would want. Quickly out of the blocks in their second game. Sharply on the attack.
Well, Matthias Bo there, guilty of hitting the first smash and then standing still, didn't move his position and get ready for the shuttle coming back at him. Can't afford to stand and watch in this sport, and especially men's doubles. It's all happening so quickly.
Out. Serves over. 1-2.
Got off to such a good start. And Hun Tien Hao with the serve wide and then the miss smash into the net. Just can't afford those kind of mistakes up against the world number 3 pair.
I think that's an area where Tan Boon Hyung has really improved his game, looking for the third shot at the net. After he's served, he's getting his racket up ready, he's trying to anticipate. There we go again.
They're actually contemplating a different partnership as well, the Malaysians. They're going to put Mishim Go together with Kim Hwa as well, and maybe not go for this partnership. And I can't help but think, you know, all this uncertainty. If they're not sure, then the players aren't sure either, obviously until last night. But can't help the players either.
5-all.
No, and as you were saying earlier, I think the biggest detriment probably is psychologically to the players. If you're the number 1 pair, but you're not considered enough to beat Bo and Mogensen, then obviously the management doesn't have confidence in you.
But their head-to-head record, they're
coaches know their players better than we do, but it, you know, it is surprising. Maybe there was even a thought process of, you know, we're prepared to almost sacrifice the first men's doubles to strengthen the second men's doubles, with belief we will definitely win the second men's doubles as far as Malaysia are concerned. But even that has been a bit of a gamble, because now Denmark has thrown in a scratch pairing in the second men's doubles.
4号场地将进行尤伯杯 C 组第2场的比赛，韩国队裴贤淑对阵德国队卡罗拉罗特。We will have the second match of Yuba Group C. In Portugal, representing Korea.
8-5.
Well, it's an uphill struggle here right now, isn't it, for Tan Boon Hyung and Hun Tien Hao. That might help.
Serves over. 6-8.
smashing from Carsten Mogensen. He's not the biggest build of athlete, is he? But his timing of that shot and the technique of his smash generates such good angle and power at the same time. But it's mainly the angle that's just so impressive and why his smash is so effective. On the left as we look at them. Hang Chia Chung, the other Malaysian coach.
Service over 7-9.
Put themselves back into this match. Great rally.
9-all. Service for call.
Service fault called once again.
10-9.
Fourth service fault in the game, in the match rather, and I think 2 apiece.
Indeed, the strings had gone. It was early on. Carsten Mogensen not only did the shuttle make, oh, that's interesting. Umpire Bert van Horenbeck saying, come on, you've got to be a little bit quicker. And Matthias Bo saying, well, my partner's got to change his racket in the long rallies. And I think the Danes are well known around the tour for taking as much time as possible in between rallies. But
yeah, the umpire's right, it's one more point and it's the interval, whoever gets it.
Yeah.
The Danes who do get it, and there'd been a little break as well at 9-6 as well, so it wasn't like he hadn't allowed him to have a little rub down the umpire.
Well, as far as the Malaysians are concerned, I think what they need to try and do is get Matthias Bo to the back of the court. Initially, well, certainly get him away from the net is probably better advice.
Hvis vi er for lavt under, så accepterer det så op mod et hjørne med huden på dem. Selvfølgelig kan I dumpe dem, så gør det, men gør det over med huden, for han bevæger sig ikke. Stadigvæk bare fyre en svipper og eventuelt vise ham, den lige spørger, om man må. Den svipper med igen her.
No, Klaus Poulsen saying you mustn't be afraid at times to lift it if you're in trouble. It doesn't always have to be played. Quick defense. Give yourselves time.
Play.
go, there's the high lift. That's the instructions. Oh, my goodness. Well, he'll be disappointed with that. Golden opportunity for Hun Tianhao.
Just snatched at it, didn't he? There's a couple he's missed now. Like that, and, well, could have levered it up at 11-all. Crucial part of the game.
It's a very, very good serve from Matthias Bo.
There we go again. Wanted to change the shuttle. The umpire saying no, that one's good enough, thank you. Get on with it.
Yeah.
Serves over 11-13.
Good tactical play by the Malaysians. And certainly Malaysian attack. I'm a believer that Matthias Bo has real frailties in his defensive play when he's switched from one side to the other. Forehand, then backhand, and maybe the body smash as well. That hasn't really been exploited by the Malaysians so far.
Serves over 14-11. Gentlemen. Serves over 14-12.
All right on cue.
Line judge. Line judge.
Breaking down the defence of Matthias Bo.
Private court, please.
At last. Well, he's had to wait there about 45 minutes. Eventually, Lee Chong-wei is on his way. And we wish him the best as well. Let's hope it's not as serious as it did look.
Serves over 15-12.
Yeah, there's the weakness in defence once again.
Serves over 13-15.
Well, it's now or never really, isn't it, for the Malaysian pair?
No, not that way. Not that way. 14-15.
serve is short.
Service over 16-14.
Well,
Service over 15-16.
the Danes are claiming it was good. And for them, well, it was out.
No, it wasn't.
Well, we won't be able to see, obviously, that's from that angle. Nor from that one. But we will from this one.
Good call by the line judge.
Yeah, hit the line.
Service over 17-15.
Oh, goodness me. What a terrific smash.
Service over
Unbelievable angle.
16-17.
Probably wasn't one of his fastest, but my goodness, it went down so steeply.
Tan bang. Well, they're hanging in at the moment, aren't they? Wood and Tan.
Service
Bit
over
of bad luck they didn't need.
18-16.
And now the Malaysians are really directing a lot of their attacking play at Matthias Bonau. There's the first one. Can't switch from that backhand to the forehand side. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Denmark 2 points away from victory.
Service over 19-17. Service over 18-19.
Wow.
19-all.
Well, 3 points in a row And suddenly, Hun and Tan have game point.
20.
Big
game
moment this for
point,
Hun
19.
Tianhao. He's had a couple of serves, one that's gone wide and one in the net.
He's been faulted a couple of times as well.
Okay, go for it.
What a return.
Serve's over.
What a time to get a net cord.
Yeah.
The players allowed a little bit of a rest now. 20 all.
Extra points required, of course, until there's a clear 2-point winning margin.
And now it's game point to the Danes. In fact, it's match point to the Danes.
21-20.
That's well saved, brave play.
Serve's over. 21 all.
Yeah. All went wrong when Matthias Bo was defending.
Clash of rackets. It's game point once again to the Malaysian pair. Can they take it this time?
21.
This time it's Tan to serve. They've done it. They've leveled it up at 1 game apiece. Something at last today for the Malaysian camp to smile about.
Game won by Malaysia. 23-21. 1 game all.
And it's taken nearly 50 minutes to play those 2 games. It's not been badminton played at the quickest speed, but it's been pretty exciting.
Han kommer slet ikke ud af, han står bare stille, og det var det lidt scenarie, vi snakkede om, at det er vigtigt, at han skal bevæge sig. Og det der med, at jeres defensiv, I må ikke bare lægge den op og så stå stille. I skal lægge den op, og så skal I ville spille den væk igen på den næste. Eller også så skal I lægge den op, og så skal I ville søge på den næste. I må bare ikke lægge den op, og så bare smadre til den, for så er de gode. Så konstruktiv diff igen her. Så er det sindssygt vigtigt igen. Hver eneste gang, vi klemmer den ned til Hun, så skal den stoppes foran ham på den næste. Ja. Men når man spiller den ned til ham med fart på hver gang. Ikke? Og så er det stadigvæk, når Tan saver, så er der stadig plads til den helt hårde.
our game. Love all. Play.
Oh, missed opportunity there for the Danes in the first point.
Yeah, you know, during that 2-minute timeout, when the players were talking to their coaches, I really had to sort of think about how did that game turn around. Danes seemed to be in control. They had that 3-point advantage at 14-11. And then suddenly, here we are in the third game.
Yeah, they were ahead the whole time, weren't they? I mean,
Yeah.
apart from the very start of the game, when the Malaysians took a 2-0 lead. Even at 19-17.
Yeah.
Service over. 1-0.
It was interesting, though, what Klaus Poulsen, the coach, was saying to his players, though. He was very, very concerned that they were playing everything at the same pace. And he was saying you've got to mix it up more by using the blocks, and once again was urging that if they were in trouble, to give themselves time by lifting cross court.
Two, one.
There's the big lift, but it's straight. Yeah, there was a push down Bo's forehand side. He got it back. They then pressurised, the Malaysians pressurised down his backhand side. He didn't even get his racket on the shuttle. For some reason, it just looks to me as if the Danes have lost a bit of belief in themselves. Instead of looking like a polished pair, now there's a bit of uncertainty. Who's going for which shot?
And for the first time in this match now, it's the Malaysians who lead. Not for long, mind you.
Service over. 3-all. Service over. 4-all.
It's good judgment to leave that low serve.
face for
6-5.
Tan there.
Right.
Rather a shuttlecock though than a cricket ball.
It's good positioning on court from Carsten Mogensen. His partner really pressurising the net. He moved his base position very far up the court so that he could pounce on the little half-court push. Good awareness.
Change the shuttle. Yeah, play on.
Well, 4 straight points from the Danes will perhaps settle their nerves, because early stages of this deciding game, I thought they've been looking a little bit too tentative.
That's wide.
9-5.
Well, it's mighty close.
It was. I think it was just wide.
It's great anticipation.
10-5.
Good technique too, just brushing across the shuttle. Careful not to hit the net.
Serves over. 6-10. Line judge, line judge, line judge, center line.
Umpire calling for the line judge to come on and mop up the perspiration. Surprised that they don't have a separate court attendant to do the mopping up.
Obviously, harsh economic times around the world. 2 jobs for the price of 1.
Oh, good flick serve.
Please.
Well, they've been on court an hour now. Danes with a slight advantage. A bit of indecision there again. Fastest of the match, 275 earlier on in game 1.
has been all about which pair take the initiative within the rally. Get the shuttle going in a downward direction, enjoying far, far more success. Last couple of rallies, the Malaysians implementing that tactic quite perfectly. In contrast, as soon as they started lifting, then they were in trouble.
Change ends and change shirts for Bo as well.
Line judge, line judge, line judge, line judge, line judge, watch the court.
And once again, the umpire is having problems getting the line judges on to mop up the court.
They're not keen, are they?
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20
The pronation of the forearm there from Carsten Mogensen. That's how he generates the power.
Thank you. Court.
Og så vær klar på den, du kommer ned over nakken nu. Sådan.
It's hot out there.
Hoon on court. Matthias Karsten on court.
Well, the umpire telling the players to be on court. Don't seem to be hurrying any more than if he hadn't told them.
11-9. It's okay. Play. Play.
Well, fair play to the umpire. He's trying to move the game along a little quicker, but it's a bit of a struggle.
Well, concerning body language, as far as I could see from Tan Boon Hyung, after seeing his partner make the error, one thing you mustn't do is beat up on your partner. You've got to keep encouraging.
Is this the decisive break from Denmark in this crucial men's doubles match? Of course, both sides, countries have qualified for the quarterfinals, but there is a prime importance on who actually wins the group. Guaranteed to miss China in the quarterfinals. That's short from Bo.
10-13.
We'll have the third match of Hubei Province, women's doubles in Portugal. Representing Korea, Kim Min-jun, Ha Jung-yoon. Representing Germany, Carla Nota, Joanna Gloriusti.
Nice idea, wrong execution.
14-10.
been a lot of negativity, haven't there, about Malaysian badminton. Another poor serve from Hood ahead of this Thomas Cup. You were telling me one of the headlines you saw in one of the Malaysian newspapers this morning, another sort of negative headline, wasn't it? God knows what they have to say after what's happened today with Lee Chong-wei.
Yeah.
And they look like they're going 2 down now as well in this overall tie. Managed to pull that one off earlier in the match, but not now. 17-11. Becomes 18-11. And the finishing line getting closer for Mogensen and Bo, who haven't necessarily been at their best in this match. Now 2 points away from victory, although they were a couple of points away from victory in the last game, but their lead is far more comfortable this time. And the Malaysians are running out of steam here. It's match points, and there are plenty of them. Well, it's a long way back now for Malaysia. The second match goes Denmark's way. It took 3 games, but Carsten Mogensen and Mathias Bo got there in the end. 21-11 in the decisive game. Pretty comfortable in the end. And the gamble to split Koo and Tan, well, it hasn't come off as a gamble in that first men's doubles. Maybe it will do in the second. But first, they have to win the men's singles that's coming up. Confirmation then of that scoreline, which means it's now Denmark 2, Malaysia 0. So all to do now for Malaysia, and as we prepare for the second of the men's singles, the third match, I'm delighted to say, joining us in the commentary box in just a moment will be Steen Petersen, former national coach of Denmark.
Well, that of course confirms the situation in the overall tie, with Denmark leading Malaysia 2-love. Best of 5 matches, of course, and it means that Malaysia, if they want to top this group, have to win the 3 remaining matches. Next on court, of course, is the second men's singles, and then it will be the second doubles, and last of all, the third men's singles. Well, prior to the start of this tie, one would have assumed that Lee Chong-wei would have taken the men's singles against the veteran Dane Peter Gader, but tragedy struck the world #1. 2-1 up in the first game, over on his ankle, and had to retire. Well, second men's singles, and here comes Jan Jorgensen and Darren Liu of Malaysia. Well, of course, Steen, you know Jan Jorgensen very well indeed, and as the Danish number 2, he has the opportunity now to close out this tie if he was to win against Darren Liu. But of course, these two have never met previously, but knowing Jorgensen's character, he will be relishing this opportunity.
Definitely, it's a dream scenario. He probably even couldn't have dreamed about it. I think the Danes would have been satisfied with 1-all. Now it's 2-0, and there's a good chance that Jan will close this match the way I see it.
Do you want to serve it?
He's been playing really solid here in 12. He lost the men's final at the Europeans, but suffered a small injury. So.
What was that small injury?
He sort of pulled a muscle in his thigh, so he was able to play on, and Mark Twiebler won the championship. He really deserved to win. He played a great tournament, Mark, but I feel that Jan wasn't exactly at his best at that tournament. So,
well.
And he's been selected for the Danish Olympic team. There was, of course, this contest going on between him and Hans Christian Wittinghus. Peter Gade was, of course, one of the 2 players that Denmark get to send to the Olympics, and there's been a little bit of uncertainty. Most people have thought that it would be Jan, but he needed the confirmation.
Yes, indeed. Well, as far as Darren Liu is concerned, the 24-year-old, world ranking at the moment at 33 in the world, well, 20 places higher is this man, a 24-year-old from Aalborg in North Jutland, and his win-loss record for the year translates into 2 semi-finals. But it wasn't so much the semi-finals, it was the manner in which he reached those status that really drew to my attention. Of course, in Korea, the first of the Super Series events this year, Jan Jorgensen beat Chen Jin. Chen Jin, of course, the Chinese number 3 ranked player, number 4 in the world standing. And then a week later in Malaysia, Jan Jorgensen disposed of the current Olympic champion, Lin Dan, in 3 games. So we know he has the capability of the big wins. And for Darren Liu, well, he started this year particularly well as well at the All England Championships. He was in the qualifying event, reached the quarterfinals eventually, losing out to the top Korean Lee Hyun-il. And whilst Jan Jorgensen, many people feel that he is the man to take over the mantle from Peter Gade. In fact, in 2009, Lee Chong-wei, the world number 1, said that this man was going to be one of his main rivals in the future. And that's just how highly he's regarded by his fellow players. First ever meeting between these two, as just mentioned.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Malaysia, represented by Darren Liu. And on my left, Denmark, represented by Jan Jorgensen. Malaysia to serve, love all, play.
Umpire Cormac Breslin of Ireland getting the match underway. He's a busy man this afternoon. Of course, he was very involved in that men's doubles match. He was the service judge. He was kept busy. What a good opening rally.
1 love.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, Steen, I think Darren Liu for some time has been threatening to produce some good results, and prior to the All England Championships in March earlier this year, never really delivered, but there's signs that suddenly he's made a bit of a breakthrough, got more confidence now, and at times I've seen him play some very, very good badminton.
I totally agree. He can play very well, and he's sort of got the potential, but then just as you think that now the breakthrough is just in front of him, he loses some unexplainable matches.
Yeah. That's a lovely angle. And I guess part of it is the pressure. I mean, badminton in Malaysia is such a huge sport, and Richard and I have just been discussing the negative headlines that so often come out of Malaysia, and they get on the back of their players and they expect them to deliver week in, week out. No athlete can do that, but it's a build-up of pressure, isn't it, that really does take its toll on the players.
It does, and I think one of the best examples is actually Wong Chun Han, who lost the final of the World Championships in 2003. And the way I saw it was actually the best playing player in the Olympics, but wasn't able to cope with the pressure, losing to Taufik Hidayat, the eventual winner in 3 games. And I think the media sort of talked him out of that. I don't know, the dynamics is, I think it's natural that when you have a star player like Lee Chung-wei or Peter Gade, the media, the public immediately wants to know, well, who will be the next?
Yeah. Good judgment. Thought seriously about playing it. It's going well wide.
5-2.
There is Peter Gade, 35-year-old. And there's another one drifted wide. We ought to mention the drift in this arena. Not only lengthways, but also the sideways drift.
6-2.
I think one of the differences between these two crown princes, so to speak, is that Jan, he has from time to time actually beaten Peter Gade and can beat him in practice sometimes. I don't suspect Darren Liu can beat Lee Chung-wei in practice at the moment. He simply has a higher level.
Yeah.
7-2.
In fact, Jan Jorgensen was beating Peter Gade in international competition going back to 2008. Last 16 of the Indonesia Super Series event, and then in the quarterfinal of the Denmark Open a year later, 2009. So he's been putting pressure on for quite a few years now.
And that gives a lot of motivation, because he knows that I'm capable of beating Peter, and Peter can beat some of the best players in the world. And that means that I have the possibility as well.
Yeah.
I don't think Darren has quite that feel yet. He's a promising player, but I can't beat Lee Chung-wei, so I can't be sure that I can beat the very best players, the top 10 players in the world.
Service over. 3-8.
Well, what is it about Jan Jorgensen, his style of play? What makes him such a threat to these top players already? I mean, he's already 13 in the world ranking.
Yeah, his physique is very, very good. He's quite agile and in very good condition. So he's quite solid to a certain level. What I'd like to see more of is him controlling the game, setting up his own points.
4-8.
I agree with that. I've been watching him now for a number of years, and I've always thought what a good athlete he was, but he's a reactive player. He reacts to what his opponent is doing and very rarely commands the rally from the onset.
Service over.
I hope that he's on his way changing that style a little bit, but of course it takes time. If you've been playing in a certain way for a couple of years, then it takes time before you get comfortable with it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a magnificent smash from Darren Liu.
10-4.
Actually, in this match, I think there's not so much pressure on Darren because he's been doomed by the Malaysian media to be a sure loser in this match. And now Malaysia is down 2-0 and everybody's been expecting him to lose, so he can actually play quite freely.
Yeah, and he certainly is.
11-4.
Great start by the Malaysian in this second men's singles contest. And of course, it's a strange situation now as far as Malaysia singles is concerned. Not only the tragedy of the fact that Lee Chong-wei will not be taking any more part in this tournament, but Darren Liu on the new world ranking list is actually now lower than Mohammed Hafiz Hashim. But of course, they still have to play in the order at the time that the seedings were originally done for this competition, so he will get promoted to first singles, one assumes. Chong Wei Feng, of course, is the other singles player here for Malaysia. I can remember reading one article in the Malaysian media saying this is terrific when, in fact, Darren Liu moved ahead of Hafiz after his All-England performance because they said, oh, that's great, we can have Hafiz Hashim playing at third singles. That's really good for us, which may be some people's opinion, but quite what effect that has on Darren Liu, that people are saying, oh, well, you know, we can chuck the second singles and we've got somebody strong at third.
I'm sure that in the long run, it's not really good. It might be nice here being relieved of the pressure, so to speak, that no one is expecting him to win any matches. Yeah. But if this continues, it's very, very hard to cope with mentally.
6-11.
And it really takes a lot of backing up from the coaches, getting him to believe in himself.
Well, that's the sort of rally that will really suit Jan Jorgensen.
7-11. Jan, do it.
Long, hard rally, making his opponent move to all four corners of the court.
And I noticed the body language. It's Darren Liu who's leading 11-7, but it's Jan Jorgensen who looks like he wants to win this.
Yeah. You talk about his physical qualities and his stamina. Of course, we ought to mention the fact that last year, during the Denmark Open, he was diagnosed with a heart virus and had to pull out of the quarterfinal stage, Jan Jorgensen. And given what's happened in world sport recently with Fabrice Muamba, Bolton footballer, of course, and an Italian volleyball player, Italian footballer, two of them very tragically died in the middle of competition from heart complications.
Yeah, it's of course a concern for Jan, but he's been thoroughly tested back home in Denmark, and the later part of 2011 actually was a bit of a nightmare for him. He suffered a big loss in his family, and after that he got injured, wasn't able to participate in the Worlds, and then he was diagnosed with this heart disease here. So quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Getting back and qualifying for the Olympics.
Well, another very famous badminton player, Kai Yun, underwent heart surgery back in 2001, and he's won 4 world titles since then. Now, I'm not convinced that playing those flat pushes and the flat fast exchanges is the ideal tactics for Jorgensen.
He actually seems a little bit too eager at the moment.
Yeah. Trying to play the net shot on return rather than the drive. Or at least thinking about what he's doing, mixing it up. And he just hasn't found his touch and range yet.
But it's also a wrong choice trying to play that shot so close to the net, because definitely isn't going to win on it, and it will give Darren a chance to play a tight net shot afterwards.
Yeah, forced to play 3 backhands from deep in that back corner. It was bound to break down in the end. Oh, that's nice.
Well played by Darren. And you can see that Jan is moving a little bit away from the net, and that's because the net shot isn't quite good enough, so he can't tell anything about where the next shot is going to come from Darren, and that opens up the opportunities on the front court.
Umpire urging the players to come back on court. Officially, of course, play must be continuous, apart from the designated intervals, mid-game, and of course after each game. Now you see that, to me, is absolutely suiting Darren Liu. Those fast pushes at him, he loves to respond to that, and tactically, I think Jan Jorgensen a little bit naive on those returns. Yeah, that's given it more height.
I don't like his forehand return of these short services. It's too difficult to make a deceptive shot. It's too easy to read for the opponent. So I'd much more like him. That was a good shot. Really quick racket movement there. Makes it hard to read for the opponent. But back to the service returns, a little bit more deception in it, so it's not so easy for Darren to read where he's going to put it.
Stood his ground at the net on that occasion, Jorgensen. He's hovering there, waiting to pounce. And the sheer threat of being there, I think, forcing his opponent into error.
I totally agree. That could be recorded as an unforced error, but it's not. It's a forced error. It's just psychologically forced.
Yeah.
13.
He's getting involved in these flat, fast exchanges again. Not getting any benefit from it, the Dane.
And able to notice that he's losing the major part of these flat encounters.
So game points here for the Malaysian. Lazy. Got what it deserved. Why on earth did he play that backhand?
14, 20.
Oh, good defence. Little wry smile from Darren Liu. Still another 5 game point opportunities though. No, that's nice. It's gone long, and this time he converts. 21-15.
21-15.
Just 16 minutes of play. Yeah, good judgment from Darren Liu. Well, I have to say, the Malaysian did start in exceptional form.
Gode piger til sidst her. I servereturene. Inviterer til at spille. Du må godt lave noget på den, men så lave noget blødt. Altså ryg, og så lave den bløde. Ikke? Han vil gerne have, han er klar på, at du trykker. Over ham med længde. Spil de der clear med ham, og så når du har chancen, så slår du stikket eller kottet. Ikke? Når du lægger ind i banen til ham, så er du klar på, at der kommer de der flade løft. Han vil rigtig gerne ind og spille tæt net. Det skal vi kun gøre, hvis vi er absolut højt. Ikke? Det har ikke været super, men det er okay først. Han har arbejdet fint. Ikke? Ja. Men altså, du skal slå mere til dem. Vi er nødt til at ned i grøften med ham. Ellers er han for farlig.
Well, head coach Zua, our very own translator here, tell us what he said.
Yeah, he pretty much agreed with us that Jan wasn't going to make a lot of money from playing a flat game with Darren. He needed to be on top of it if he was going to play the flat game, and they were having right in the beginning of the coaching, they were having a discussion regarding the wind. Perhaps it's a little bit different than Jan experienced the first match where he played on one of the outer courts. I think quite a lot of drift going from where Darren stands now towards Jan, so he wasn't really aware of that kind of wind, and that was not so good because that indicated that there was wind the other way. And they were discussing the service return situation as well, especially that it was important not pushing on the service returns, but playing it a little bit softer over him. The shot quality of Ben Beckman from England, and we could have the same discussion today at a little higher level, but the shot quality of the well played, Jan.
Yeah, and again, as we were discussing yesterday, the importance of the net shot, because it was the tight shot that forced the shorter left, and then the opportunity to play the attacking shot. Don't expect to win with the first one. Use it as a building shot to set yourself up for the final kill.
We will have the fourth match of Hubei Cup Group C, women's single in Portugal. Representing Korea, Wong
Service over.
Slight hesitation, a little look back towards the line after played the shot, maybe his spatial awareness, and as you say, the fact that Denmark played on courts number 4, I think it was, and they played against South Africa. Oh. No, he's overdone it.
Darren is playing really well. Calm and collected.
Oh my goodness, well it's drifted wide, but how on earth did he even get his racket on that?
Service over. Jan. 3-5.
In the slow, we can see that after the first shot, Jan is moving a little bit back, and he shouldn't be doing that because it's giving Darren opportunities to survive.
Just asking for the court to be mopped of the perspiration. And of course, Jan Jorgensen, we talked about his victory over Chen Jin earlier this year, and indeed Lin Dan, but should be remembered that he's also beaten world number 1 Lee Chong-wei and Taufik Hidayat. He has beaten all of the world's current best players.
He couldn't use that match to anything. He didn't even want to watch video of it because the shuttles they played with in Korea were so slow that it had been a clear contest, and Chen Jin didn't bother to take up the battle in the clearing contest, so he just gave it away. And Jan was aware of that it didn't really count as a normal victory, and he also lost the match to Chen Jin in Malaysia.
Yeah, but hour and 18 minutes of it, it was still 3 games, wasn't it?
It was, and it was the match after he'd beaten Lin Dan, so psychologically he was sort of drained, trailing the whole match against Chen Jin, so 3 sets were actually quite nice. And he says to Lars Ure now, he says, I don't have headwind. They've discussed that he's having headwind now, but he doesn't feel it. But it could be because Darren is deliberately playing a little bit too short to avoid playing it long.
No, obviously psychologically he's a little unsettled. There's another error.
Yeah. It's worrying for the Danes because that corner, the backhand corner of Darren Liu is one of the spots where he's been a little bit soft. So that could be a target point, but it's really hard to target it right now because Jan has made a lot of errors. Or a lot, 3 or 4 errors, I think. Well played.
Service over.
Yeah, still in heated discussion with his coach.
And he sometimes does that, yeah, and it's sometimes like he's coaching the coach.
Oh, brilliant. Super play from Darren Liu. And he goes in the mid-game interval with a 5-point advantage. Well, you wouldn't guess that there was 20 places difference between these 2 men on the world ranking.
Det er det, han allerhelst vil have. Ja. Yes. Men du må gerne stille dig langt frem. Ja, og tro ham. Der er ingen problemer i. Bare klar.
Well, I'm not sure that conversation between Jan Jorgensen and Lars Uart needed any translation at all. I think we got the gist of that. Oh, what a contrast to Darren Liu, who's looking relaxed in that timeout. That's clever. It's almost as if Jan Jorgensen has worked himself up into a frenzy and isn't really thinking clearly about his tactics. He's emotionally charged. He knows that he was obviously favourite to win this encounter, and implications of that for the overall match tie. Got to clear his head, regain his focus.
But none of them very constructive. That was a good rally, sort of just trying to survive. To win his own points. Match been in control.
Well. 5 straight points. And there's just 1 point in. It's call good. Well, Jan Jorgensen doesn't like the call, I have to say.
13-11.
I have sympathy.
I could up here. It's questionable, but
Instinctively know, don't they, when their opponents hit a shuttle, they know. And in general terms, players are. No question of that one. Clearly long of the back line. That's taken so early. Brilliant play from Darren Liu. Control at the front of the court. Well, we're seeing the final smash, but it was the one prior to that at the net, the cross-court net shot that really set up the rally. And all of a sudden, he's once again got a 5-point cushion. Make that 6-point cushion.
Service over.
No, you just seen that it's now or never as far as Jan Jorgensen is concerned. Scored net shots from both the backhand side and their forehand side, and both of them today enormous problems. Just Darren Liu. Make that one. Well, what a great performance.
13-20.
Just been talking about the cross-court net shots and from Darren Liu, but you have to say perhaps a little bit of a disappointing performance. Jorgensen. last shot to finish it off. 21-15, 21-13 in 34 minutes of play. Well, the implication of that is that this overall tie is still alive.
It's very much alive. This was the way I saw it, Denmark's best chance of finishing this match. So it's interesting how the dynamics of this match is changing all the time. Thinking that Denmark would fall behind, but instead they take the lead. And now Malaysia trying to come back.
If it all came down to the fifth and final match within the tie, the third men's singles, Koo Kian Kiat and Go Wei Shen. Well, of course, Koo Kian Kiat, usually in partnership with Tan Boon Hyung. Shen, usually in partnership with Lim Hin Hua. There's the former world champion, Jonas Rasmussen, 34-year-old from Aarhus. Has the distinction of twice ending up fourth in the Olympic Games. I can't think of anything more hideous. The bronze medal playoff matches, quite frankly, the worst matches I've ever had to play in my life. You're so desperately close to being in a major championship final, and then the next day, when bitterly disappointed, you have to go out and try and salvage something from it and try and win that bronze medal. And as far as Jonas Rasmussen was concerned, both in mixed doubles in 2004 with Rikke Olsen, and then in the men's doubles in Beijing 4 years ago. Sadly lost both of his bronze medal playoff matches. Now, Steen, this is the really interesting selection as far as I can see, because Nielsen, the 33-year-old, usually just concentrates on mixed doubles. In fact, he's ranked number 4 in the world at mixed doubles with Christina Pedersen. Whereas Jonas Rasmussen, usually in partnership with Mads Conrad, and Mads Conrad is here, but not selected for this. Now, have you got any inside information on why this selection?
No, I haven't, but yeah, I imagine that actually both Denmark and Malaysia felt that they needed to do something in the second men's doubles, that it was a match that they could possibly win, but not with the regular combinations. Of course, Joachim is much more experienced in these kind of matches than Mads Conrad, but I don't think he's been playing a lot with Jonas Rasmussen, and at first sight, the two players' playing style doesn't really mix that well. But it could be if the Danes could get the attack, then it would be quite lethal with Joachim smashing away at the back of the court and Jonas Rasmussen finishing off in front. And yeah, that sort of makes it up for a test with Koo Kian Kiat at the net.
Yes, I suppose the other thing that we should take into consideration, of course, Jonas Rasmussen now having to play with a left-hander. Ku Kian Kiat usually plays with a left-hander, but in this selection is having to play with a right-hander. I think perhaps at times we might see a bit of confusion as to who's taking which shot. So it's not only a new partner, but a partner that's playing with left-handed instead of right-handed and vice versa.
It's very different from their normal partnerships.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
Yeah. Well, Jonas Rasmussen, world champion, of course, with Lars Borska, looking very relaxed indeed.
Says he's going to fire away on his first smash, so just duck if I hit it, he says.
Some of the nerve.
Nielsen. Level. Play.
Probably, at least from the Denmark side, the two best final players. If you could speak of players that are good at playing finals, that would be Jonas and Joachim. So very, very interesting to make this work.
Relish the big match pressures and excitement. Some players are intimidated by it, but obviously it's a good defense from the left-handed. Versatile player, Joachim Fischer. Started. I suppose its only really performance was reaching the final of the Denmark Open with Mathieu.
And actually reaching that final was what brought Joachim back in the national team. He insisted that he wanted to play singles in his younger days. The build for singles was quite injury prone.
Of course, had a knee operation in March 2010.
Well played by the Malaysians here.
Yeah, do love watching him play though, because and always every rally seems to give 110%. It's the intent.
Very, very unpredictable. Something that I really like. If the game gets too predictable, keep a good variation in the game.
Oh, that goes down as a missed opportunity. Govi Shem. The very next rally. That's good carry. To this match by the Danes. Advantage at the mid-game interval. Yes, I have to say that ban, whereas the Malaysians racket ready once again. Oh, that's good too. Oh, it's brilliant.
Fantastic save by the Malaysians.
Yeah, good judgment. Oh, it was clever play from Jonas Rasmussen. Change of pace at the nets. And therefore, he's got the freedom to rush forward to the net, take those half opportunities. And it looks to me as if he's just slightly hesitant. Knows that he can't afford to do that perhaps so much within this partnership. My goodness. Well, it always looks very spectacular, doesn't it, around the back shot, but rarely does it get much advantage, if any. And Jonas Rasmussen, far too experienced not to be ready once again to pounce on the next one. Oh, that's good.
Well, that's one of the keys for the Malaysians. They have to challenge Joachim at the net, get him to lift, perhaps take some wrong choices.
Well, sheer movement there from Joachim Fischer. Desperation defence. How on earth he got it back, but he managed to keep it flat over the net. He was in all sorts of trouble, but look at his movement. Dashes forward to the net, really threatening his opponents. And once again, that goes down as a forced error. We talked about the fact that Ku usually plays with a left-hander. We should also mention that Go Shen usually plays with a lefty.
Dækker ikke de der lige flade der heller. Hvad siger du? Han dækker meget ind over midten, synes jeg, når Citroën han får den. Så det får oplægget.
Danes just discussing that cooking kits covering the middle a lot when the Malaysians have the attack. So the Danes want to try to use straight counters instead of across the middle.
That's good.
13.
Generated.
13.
Extraordinary shot, full pirouette at the end of it. He really is a character, isn't he? It's good for the game.
Also very, very important person in the Danish team, hearing his teammates and leading them on.
14. 18. Service over. 19. 14.
No backswing of the racket there from Fischer Nielsen. Well, no wonder he's pleased with that.
20. Game point.
There's the confusion.
14.
Still got it back. 6 game point opportunities.
Service over. 15. 20.
A little look down towards the line. Obviously wasn't sure whether he should have been playing it or not. glance up to see if he can see a replay of that. Spoon's gone in the racket of Kuki and Kiat.
17-20.
The Danes are talking a lot to each other in between rallies. I don't see the Malaysians discussing that much.
Another game point saved.
18-20.
We will have the fifth match of
This time, the error from Go Vishen. And as the umpire Ian Spear confirms, opening game to Denmark, 21-18. Well, there were signs to me at the end of that game that the Malaysians were beginning to play themselves into form.
Der er stadigvæk meget plads til det der i defensiven, som vi har gjort nogle gange, den her med at vende den med den bløde foran den. Og så skal I rykke. Og så når I rykker, så skal I være ops på den der, den godt kan komme hen over hovedet, lige hen over hovedet på jer. Er I med på hvad for en?
Jeg tænker på, når jeg er på baglinjen, så jeg kommer med droppet. Så er jeg rigtig aktiv i pistene, fordi de øjeblik lægger tilbage til dig. Du kan få fedt dem. Det er ikke nødvendigvis, at du skal have det. Så bliver du lidt mere tid til mig.
Så husk på det der stadigvæk, at på det første løft, vi får, der må I gerne slå variationer på stadigvæk.
Ja.
I må gerne få den ned en gang mere selv. Det behøver ikke være sådan, vi skal skifte der.
Du kan ikke det sådan, så ham den anden, han er mega ringe i defensiven, eller vi skal slå efter ham.
Nej, det
er tempo, det er også en meget fejl.
Lige præcis. De må bare ikke få lov at køre stræt dernede, uden at det er os, der styrer det.
Nej, det er præcis.
Ja.
Super godt, at man lige venter lige en splitter og et øjeblik med, at der er klar.
Yeah, and they talk a little bit about the attacking game plan. We don't want to attack a lot. We want to change, so it's not the same player attacking all the time. So we don't want to get tired in the back of the court. And apart from that, it was quite a detailed coaching with a lot of specific situations discussed. And that's different from player to player. Some are quite comfortable getting a lot of details, whereas others, they like to have the bigger picture of what should be going on.
Level. Play.
Wow, what a pickup.
Oh, and then the indecision from Jonas Rasmussen.
Service over. 1-love.
Well, it's usually Koo Kyung Kiat who's the showman of the Malaysians. Not on that occasion.
One of the things in the past month or so has been that Jonas hasn't been playing that well. He and Mads Conrad lost in the first round of the Europeans to another Danish pair. And it seems like he's been running out of steam, so...
1-2.
Yes, and that's when they were number 2 seeds, I think, at the European Championships.
Exactly. And Klaus Poulsen, the assistant national coach, told them to take good rest in between the rallies.
Trying to smash, went off balance. Therefore hitting flat and hitting long.
And as we're talking of shape, I don't think that the Malaysians seem to be in excellent shape either.
Good judgment once again from Jonas Rasmussen, just calmly leaving the shuttle, letting it go long. It's really quite extraordinary to me, though, with Jonas Rasmussen, with his regular partner for so many years, Lars Borska, when he retired from the game. And I guess Rasmussen taking up with Mads Conrad, there was a new challenge. But when it was clear that they weren't going to qualify for the Olympics, you know, how does a player at the age of 34 keep that motivation going?
Yeah, I think actually the explanation is simple. He just loves badminton.
Yeah.
Small sign here that the change of direction, the quick change of direction, is a little bit too slow at the moment.
Yes, he's going through a little bit of a bad patch at the moment, is Rasmussen. That's long.
Service over. 5-0.
Service fault called. Struck above the waist, says our service judge. Bert van Horenbeck, Belgium.
5. Okay, Jonas.
A bit lucky to win that one, the Danes. And the coaches and the rest of the team are cheering for Jonas Rasmussen. I don't think the Danes want to see this go to a decisive game.
Because they fear the stamina and fitness levels of Jonas Rasmussen?
I think so. And also, we don't want to get Cooking Kid started,
Yeah.
believing that he can win this match.
Because when he's full of confidence,
8, 6.
he really is. Well, he's a difficult player to play against at any time. But Ku is one of those inspirational players, isn't he? When he's on a high, all his shots, he tries the most extravagant shots imaginable, and they all seem to work when his confidence isn't high. Sometimes his choice of shot is called into question because he makes himself look a little bit silly at times.
But again, one of these enjoyable players.
Oh, absolutely. Love to watch him play.
And that just illustrates what you were talking about, Jill. He lost that rally
9,
himself.
6.
This shot there, directly into the racket of Jonas Rasmussen.
Yeah, he's the sort of player that, you know, I as a spectator want to pull your hair out.
Exactly. And as you can see, I've been coached to a number of those kind of players.
Between the two Danish men.
I think Shamgo is beginning to play a little bit better now. Seems a little bit more confident.
That's a good smash. Unexpected. Smashing across the body.
And that should put an end to that boost of confidence.
Yes, and the big yell after the smash from He Kian Kiat, and that's always a sign that the confidence is growing, isn't it? Oh, what a return.
11-9 interval.
Goodness me, nigh on perfect. Well, as far as the Danes were concerned, I think it was very important that they still had the lead at the mid-game interval.
Arbejdet på gangen, så bliver der masser af plads, og så står der sådan et mand og sover inde på midten. Ja. Så der er masser af plads til at spille de der bløde stadigvæk.
Lige i øjeblikket, der er det, jeg synes jeg bare, det er mellemspillet, der afgør, hvem der styrer, ikke?
Jo. Er de ikke dummer jer der?
Danes are quite confident that if they lift to attacking game for soft, straight shots.
11-9.
And Joachim was commenting that he felt that it was the game after the first 2 or 3 shots that really was deciding who was controlling the rallies.
Thank you.
Well, as he struck the serve, I thought what a good serve it was, but it was an even better reply.
It seemed like he himself enjoyed it a little bit too long.
Yeah, and that's where
Joachim isn't a natural net player. always been more confident on the back part of the court.
That's over. 14-11. That's over. 12-14.
Well, I thought just a moment ago when he threw in the flick serve, I wondered whether he was getting just a little bit nervous with his low serve, making the error. Has to be a little lower when he's in his defensive stance. He seems to me to be standing a little too tall. It's very important when you're defending to...
I agree, and as a sort of general comment, from a distant perspective, you always know better when you're close to the players in the camp and so on, but from a distant perspective, this splitting up of Ko and Tan hasn't been correct. We've seen Cooking Kid, the way I see it...
No. Not his normal exuberant self.
Service over. 17-13.
The Danish coaches smiling, full confidence that they will
that's a good serve. Yeah, and an even better smash from York and Fischer.
19-13.
2 points from victory. 2 points from the required third match in the overall tie. Oh, that's great defense.
20, match point.
Well,
13.
looks to have been a costly gamble as far as the selection on the doubles is concerned, because it's now match point opportunities for Denmark. Oh! Where's that been all match?
14-20.
That's the sort of shot we're used to seeing from Kuki and Kiat.
look at the style. It's looked like he's on some kind of strike.
15-20.
And he doesn't agree with the selection or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, certainly hasn't played his usual sort of style. Well, 2 match points saved. But third time lucky as far as the Danes are concerned. 21-18, 21-15. And the experienced men of Danish badminton. And Joachim Fischer, who rarely plays men's doubles nowadays, has played an absolute blinder. Well, you always know with Joachim Fischer you're going to get 100%. And with the experience of Rasmussen to back him up, well, that's the clincher. Danish coach is absolutely delighted with that, and so they should be. So once again, confirmation, 21-18, 21-15 in a match just under 40 minutes. Well, it's become a tradition with Jochen Fischer. Well, he throws rackets or something into the crowd. It's become a firm favourite with badminton fans all over the globe.
I really must say that the Danish gamble with the second men's doubles paid off. Very convincing win.
For their confirmation that Denmark have secured top spot in this Group C of the Thomas Cup. So they know that they will avoid China in the quarterfinals. We don't know, of course, yet until the end of play tonight, the draw for the knockout competition. Top two, of course, in each group progress through to the quarterfinals in both the Thomas and the Hubei Cup. But obvious disappointment for Malaysia, with a chance to salvage a bit of pride in the fifth and final match, the third men's singles. Hans Christian Vittinghus of Denmark up against Mohammed Hafiz Hashim of Malaysia. Champion, of course, the Malaysian. Won that title back in 2003. But not the games.
Representing Korea, Hong Ji-hyun.
Court officials from all over the globe to ensure impartiality on every match. So Hans Christian Vittinghus. Oh my goodness me, hasn't he improved over the last year or couple of years? For Mohammed Hafiz Hashim. Of course, younger brother of former world #1, Roslin. He won the All England title, became the first man to do so. From Malaysia for 37 years. And of course, since then, Lee Chong-wei, 2 All-England titles.
We will have the fifth match of Hubei Cup Group D, women's single in Court 2, representing Japan, Iriko Hirose, representing
27 at the moment in the world ranking. And a negative win-loss record for the year, but he has been in a semi-final. That was the recent Malaysian Grand Prix Gold event. Lost out to Sonny Dwi Kunchoro in that semi-final. Well, for the Dane, the 26-year-old, number 16 in the world ranking, has been as high as 14. It was a month or so ago, had 4 weeks at number 14 in the world, but dropped down to number 16 now.
Ready to play.
met twice previously, but I'm not quite sure how much we into those previous results, because you have to go back to the last time they met in 2009, first round of the. As I was just saying, I think that Vittinghus really.
Vittinghus, Malaysia to serve, love all, play. Service over, 1-love.
Always on his left knee, and after an MRI scan, he was diagnosed with having a tumour. To have that surgically removed. Here he is, back in the world's top 16. Shows the character of the man.
4-love. Love.
And of course, Steen, you were talking a little earlier about the fact that Denmark have selected Jan Jorgensen for the second Olympic place ahead of this man, Vittinghus. And that would have been a huge disappointment to Hans Christian.
Of course, disappointment, but he has coped with it in a fantastic way. He's been writing on his Facebook page that he's of course a little disappointed, but he reached his goal, that was being among the best players in the world, and the next couple of months wasn't about proving that the Danish Badminton Federation selected wrongly. It was about playing this Thomas Cup, helping Denmark to a medal, helping Peter and Jan to do well at the Olympics, and then continue his good run. So that's the sort of player you wanna have in your team. And the way the team match has developed, and also taking the start of this match into account, I must say that I have Vittinghus as the big favorite to win this match, because it's his first match at the Thomas Cup finals, and I think he wants to win this a little bit more than Hafiz. Hafiz knows that he has to play again tomorrow, probably the second singles, and I don't think he wants to use too much energy in this match.
Serve is over. 8-2.
Oh, that's nice.
Serve is over. 8.
Of course, third singles for Denmark in their opening group match. The Youngles coaches. Immediately apologises for the good fortune.
Serves over. 9-5. Ten, 5.
Yeah, it's nice.
Serves over. 6, 10.
Oh, great recovery.
11-6.
He's on his knees. Got up so quickly. Well, Steen, you say that maybe Hashim is not over interested as he talks to Coach Hendroan. Is that, if he's made up his mind that, well, okay, I've got to play tomorrow, last thing I want is a very physical encounter now, the match that is dead in that Denmark have already won. Is that a joint decision with the coach, do you think, or is it an individual player's decision that Hafiz would sort of say to himself, using all his years of experience?
I have no idea. It's also just a hunch I have based on having seen Hafiz for many years, that he might not be too interested in this match. I might be wrong and he might be able to win it, but there's a big difference on 3-1 in the overall team match or 2-2.
I mean, he doesn't want to take it too easily, that he loses his form and, you know, because he has got to play tomorrow.
Exactly, so he wants to, the way I see it, he wants to use it as a good match practice in the stadium.
Yeah.
Reserve 7-11.
And I mean, I think from this stage on, once the group has been decided, which it has, you've got to start looking at the big picture. And if you want to actually win the Thomas Cup or get as far as possible in the Thomas Cup, then you have to do what's necessary to achieve that. And if maybe not giving 100%, this is going against all the principles of necessity to try in every match. But, you know, you see it in track and field. If the first four athletes over the line qualify for the semi-final and so on, then what's the point in having a big kick finish to end first? You want to save yourself for the latter stages.
And that's totally understandable. Play all 5 matches in these group matches because the individual score might be needed. The problem is that most of these groups, it's quite obvious which 2 teams will progress to the quarterfinals, so not really that much suspense on what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Nine, 12.
Well, so far he's doing his best, Hafiz. You can't say anything from his performance so far that he shouldn't be at his best. Shot there. Vittinghus has a really, really big smash. Has been the last 1.5 years been practicing a little bit more patient style of play.
Well, certainly can't accuse him of lack of effort.
That's sort of his trademark.
10-13.
There's one quite famous video clip on YouTube that's very similar to this one, where Vittinghus is throwing himself around the court against Lee Chung-wei.
Reserve 14-10.
Oh, that's nice. Super angle.
Serves over. 11-14.
It's got brilliant overhand technique, Hafiz Hashim. Really, really dangerous.
Yeah, there was wonderful disguise on that drop shot, wasn't there? Turning point of the rally. Well, the game will miss Peter Gader, that's for certain. Achieved so much. Peter Gader, of course, at the age of 35, has already publicly stated that will not be playing regularly on tour after the Olympic Games. Oh, that's lovely. Oof.
Close call again.
13-14.
No. And it was us writing off Hafiz Hashim. Oh, my goodness me. Was that wide? Well, when you think that he had a 6-point advantage at one stage.
Perhaps this sort of more defensive style that Vittinghus is practicing now, perhaps that isn't quite the right decision against Hafiz, leaving too much of the initiative to the Malaysian. He likes initiative, he knows what to do with it. That's how he won his All England title.
Yeah.
15-14.
Won it, beating the then world #1 Chen Hong in the final.
You can see the lift there from Vittinghus gives Hafiz loads of time to come behind the shuttle and hit his dangerous overhand shots.
Now, once again, just guiding the shuttle into the open space.
Over 16-all.
Good judgment.
17-16.
Oh, surely he hit the net.
Oh!
Goodness me.
18-16.
Mind seeing that again. I thought that Malaysian hit the net with his racket as he was retrieving that.
We have a nice picture of Vittinghus's shoes. Good call from Witting, who's
20,
there.
game point 16.
On a run of 5 straight points. From 15-16 down, now 4 game point opportunities.
Serves over 17-20.
Way long of that back line from Mohammed Hafiz Hashim.
21-17.
21-17 confirms the umpire. And the opening game to Hans Christian Wittinghus. So I guess this will be the real test.
Så bliver ved med stadigvæk, når du ligger og spiller dem ind i banen, så ligger lur med din catcher. Altså, han løfter ikke langt højt til dig der presser han på dig. Og der skulle du bare dumpe dem igen, så han skal frem i den igen. Ikke? Eller også skulle du være god til stadig at spille henover med. Klirrende med, stadig kvalitet på løft. Nu er det hjørnet derovre, der er langsomt, ikke? På det spil.
Ja, lidt mærket åndedrætsmæssigt.
Okay, så tager du bare langt
komme i gang igen.
Så lang pause. Okay? Så du er helt klar. Fint. Og så hvis du er højt på nettet, så skal du selvfølgelig spille det, men ellers så er det pisse godt det der med at variere dem, mellem ligger over dem og så holde det oppe.
Ja, det er vigtigt, når han ligger og holder den. Ja, så rykker på den.
Ja, lige præcis.
Så det behøver ikke nødvendigvis at rulle den, bare jeg tager den tidligt.
Lige præcis. Og så sender du også signalet til ham om, at hver eneste duel, den er jeg klar på at arbejde stenhårdt. Så må du arbejde, så må du tage god pause. Svippen, den skal starte med. Ja.
One of the things that surprises me a little bit here is that Wittinghus tells Klaus Poulsen that he feels a little bit short of breath. I wouldn't have expected that.
Perhaps nerves.
Probably. That could be an explanation.
Second game, love all, play.
Now we discover exactly what the desire of Mohammed Hafiz Hashim is. Because if he wants to win this, he's going to have to do it the hard way. He's going to have to go the full distance. And given what we were talking about earlier, the fact that he's got to play a match tomorrow.
That's more like it. And they also discussed in the break that it was important to show Hafiz that he was really ready to work extremely hard and to play a long match. The way I see it, Hans is just playing faster in the flat game than Hafiz is capable of at the moment. So he could easily take some more initiative the way I see it.
Oh! 3-all.
See this shot here, it was one of the shots that made a lot of points for him when he won the All England title many years ago, but it seems like the deception is a little bit too big now.
Serves over. 4-3.
Too obvious.
Serves over.
Fizz also making a lot of sloppy returns on soft shots.
Oh, service fault called. Struck above the waist. Says Cormac Breslin. Don't know Eagles player faulted on the serve.
Nothing wrong with that. It's just We need the other service judges to sort of follow up on it.
Yeah, it's consistency, isn't it?
6-5.
Faulted by one service judge and not by another. That's what upsets the players.
Well played, well played.
Select from that base position to play the round the head smash. Great athletic ability.
Hafiz being quite a tall player, one of the keys to playing him is to get him to move his tall body from side to side.
7-6.
Oh, landed on the line.
I think the side drift stopped it a little bit. I don't see much ended drift at the moment.
Serves over. 7-8.
Well played.
Serves over. 9-7.
Oh, that's excellent play.
10-7.
Oh, goodness me.
Serves over. 8-10.
In badminton terms, that wasn't even close.
It wasn't even close to either of the lines. That's really great play.
Serves over. 11-8.
First the forehand side and then the backhand side, and very difficult for Hafiz to reach that.
Yeah, super defense. Didn't try and put too much pace on the winner though. Just getting the angle, getting the placement.
Sådan at ikke han får succes med til begge hjørner. Ja, præcis. Og så også bare spille ind i banen. Når du spiller ind i banen, så vil han prøve at søge og holde nettet eller trykke der, fordi han vil ikke arbejde. Okay? Så når du så hele tiden være opmærksom på, hvad det er, man gerne vil.
Yeah, the Danish coach Claus Poulsen has the same read that Hafiz isn't too keen on working hard, so that sort of determines his shot possibilities, and making Hans aware of that should give him an advantage. Whoa, what a fantastic shot.
Serves over. 9-11. Thank you.
Again, we have these nice pictures of the Danish shoes. The right judgment of the situation. I must say, from a Danish point of view, I'm quite happy that there's 3 matches in the bag already, because I think this match would have been much closer had it been the decisive one.
Yeah. Different pressures. Players react in different ways. Oof. Well, sat on the top of the tape, did Hafiz's net shot there. Still went over.
Serves over. 12 all.
Well played, and that could very well be from the discussion in the break that Hafiz is going for these 50-50 situations, so cover those shots.
Oh, he's hit it long, would you believe it?
13-12.
And well long of that back line. To lose this match, of course he didn't play in the opening match of this Thomas Cup campaign. Youngster Victor Axelsen was used instead.
It's been a little bit
15-13.
a little bit loose on the last 3 or 4 rallies here, but doesn't get much better chance of winning a Thomas Cup match than this, because if he plays the third single, tension,
yeah,
a lot more nerve in the game.
Serves over. 14-16.
He's probably feeling a little bit tired. He was down with a back injury and did travel here to Wuhan with the Danish team, only arrived 3 or 4 days later, so that could be one of the reasons.
Serves over. 17-14. 18-14.
He's missed another.
19-14.
Seeing this, even if he should win this match, I would be a little bit worried in selecting him for tomorrow's quarterfinal.
Very quick going forward there.
15-19. 16-19.
Doesn't look like Hafiz is too keen on getting 2 more points. Nice lift in the middle of the court. Can you hit that, Hans? So we can go home. Seems to be his thoughts right now.
Game point 17.
The error from the Dane means that he does, in fact, have 3 game point opportunities. Opportunities to send this to a decider. Well, tosses his racket in the air, does Hans Christian Vittinghus.
21-17. 1 game all.
And I wonder how glad Mohammed Hafiz Hashim is that it's gone to a decider. So much for our theory.
Totally down the drain.
Well, quite certain both players and coaches alike will.
And here in the hall we can see that Hans Christian Wittinghus is changing his shirt. He's got a huge taping on the on his lower back.
No, I don't think coaches will be too happy that their men are going to have to play a third game. Mind you, only 32 minutes. 2 games so far.
Hvis du gør det, så står han fint på den første. Så det er bare vigtigt, at du ikke går for meget efter point. Du har spillet fine chancer og slået bolden ud, fordi du er for jublet. Altså, det er lige så godt at gøre, at du vinder. Så skal vi vinde lidt bedre ud i samspil. Ikke vil mere der.
Statistics there, seeing that Hafiz made 5 winners of his own.
Serves over, 1 love.
Just looks a little over-anxious at the moment, certainly at the end of that second game. Wittinghus trying to force it a little too much. Oh, another misjudgment.
2-1.
Yeah, once again, you just sort of feel he's trying to play that shot at the wrong time.
And it's nowhere near coming over. It's in the middle of the net. So it could be the timing, it could be the back injury, it could be the late arrival here in Wuhan. It's just, there's too many easy points.
Yeah.
4-1.
I don't think we're going to see him in the lineup for tomorrow's quarterfinal.
No, I think it's pretty doubtful. But you've got to give credit to the Malaysian.
5-1.
Definitely Hafiz has raised his game.
Oh, that's nice. And he takes it early at the net. He's got so many options. Turn the defence, then look for the net shot.
Serves over, 6-2.
He's pushed it wide.
7-2.
Yes, and his body language now, if you're a Danish fan, will be very concerning indeed.
In, well played by Hafiz.
9-2.
It's a little bit concerning for the Danes that the second and the third single hasn't really hit the right form today. There's not going to be many teams really afraid of the second and the third single, the way they played today.
Oh yes, that's a wonderful shot.
Interval, change
Absolutely steamrolling through this deciding game at the moment.
Seems there's nothing left in Wittinghuis. Neither physically nor psychologically.
Yeah. And of course, the other thing is, if his back injury really is giving him some jip, then of course Denmark really don't have a reserve then, do they?
During in the third and
yeah.
Court 1, 20
perhaps
seconds.
Joachim Fischer.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Thank you.
Does he still practice singles?
I don't think so.
No.
I think it's too risky. And if I were the coaches, I wouldn't dare
risk
play him now.
No.
Too big.
Yeah.
He's a medal contender at the Olympics.
In mixed doubles, of course. Yeah.
Serves over.
Broken strings in the racket of Hafiz Hashim.
For 11.
Oh, that's nice.
5-11. Serves over. 12-5. Serves over.
Seeing very short rallies at the moment. It's all hit or miss, isn't it?
It is. The match has totally lost its intensity.
Oh! 7-12.
Yeah, just holding his back after that
Serves over.
last shot there. Obviously in a little
13-7.
bit of physical distress. Yeah, and again, struggling to get down low.
14-7.
Sign of the injury problems.
Strong smash there by Hafiz.
15-7.
That's exactly where it should be placed. Just a little bit of margin.
Serves over. 8-15.
Oh, goodness gracious. Even missed the doubles court.
Serve,
See that
16-8.
Hans knew that this was either a winner or a loser because he wasn't going anywhere after the shot. He was just staying in the corner.
Oh! Oh! Serve,
Can't help but wonder whether it was entirely wise in that opening game for him to be throwing himself around the court, given his recent injury troubles. Whether that in itself may have aggravated the back injury.
Serve, 17-9.
Where did that rally came from?
Yeah.
Serve, 10.
Suddenly a different intensity and a different level. .44 minutes this third men's singles has been in progress so far.
Serve, 18-10. Serve, 11-18.
Well, he hasn't given up fighting yet, Vittinghus. Oh, but that's landed well in. Good shot from Hafiz.
19-13.
2 points away from Malaysia's second point in the tie. That's nice.
Serve, 14-19.
Too little, too late, one suspects. Oh, one of the longest rallies of the match.
One of the better rallies.
15-19.
Ended up with Hafiz trying his cross-court net shot one more time, but still no success.
No, he's just missed it. Well, now it's beginning to get a little interesting again. Is there going to be a final twist in the tail?
Well played. I think on a positive note for Wittinghus is that when he's actually been playing rallies, he's been more than level with the fist. It's just that he's given away too many free points.
Just 2 points in it now. Completely mistiming the shot, mistimed the jump. Dragged the shuttle down into the nets.
20, match point 17.
And so just shy of 50 minutes. 3 match points now for Hashim. Oof.
Serves over.
Finds the line.
18-20.
Well, 2 match points have been saved. And now just 1 point the deficit. But not this time. Mohammed Hafiz Hashim, big smile from both men. Coming from a game down to win the 3rd men's singles.
Match won by Malaysia. 17-21, 21-17, 21-19.
There's confirmation. 50 minutes of play. 17-21, 21-17, 21-19 in the deciding game. And of course that victory means that the overall match score 3-2 in favour of Denmark. Well, there is confirmation of the overall tie, and of course Denmark now top Group C with that 3-2 victory over Malaysia. Of course, Malaysia's woes started right at the start of the day. World number 1 Lee Chong-wei 2-1 up in the first game when went badly over on his ankle, but there is confirmation that Denmark played 2, 1-2, and Malaysia finish 2nd in the group. So of course Denmark and Malaysia will progress through to the quarterfinal stage, knockout from quarterfinals onwards. Four groups of 3 teams in both Thomas and Hubei Cup. Well, it's a day that I'm sure many Malaysians will remember for a long time, because it was the day when their Olympic hopeful Lee Chong-wei, world number 1, suffered that nasty, nasty injury. take no further part in the contest. Left the court in tears. And of course it was men's doubles. And the Danes, with the former world number ones, current European champions, coming through that in 3 tough games. But Darren Liu from Malaysia overcoming Jan Jorgensen, 20 places higher than him in the world ranking. But the overall match secured by the second Danish men's doubles pair. The surprise selection of Rasmussen and Fischer-Nielsen, 2 straight games. And as for Vittinghus, well, struggling obviously with the aftermaths of a back injury, but all credit to Mohammed Hafiz Hashim coming from a game down to win 21-19 in the decider. Well, of course, that concludes this afternoon's matches here from Wuhan. Just to remind you, of course, holders China will play against former champions Indonesia in the Thomas Cup later on this evening. That's just a little over 2 hours' time. We'll be back for all the action from this evening. In the meantime, from all of us here in Wuhan, bye for now.